Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday. And this episode I'm actually going to be really just talking about clan wars, about the recent clan wars, because unfortunately today is the last day for clan wars of this season, and I would like to actually talk about it. It's been kind of, it's been on obviously a lot of people, a lot of clans' minds. And as you can see, our setup is currently this. Now there are in fact a variety. I've seen a huge variety of different setup that different clans take. I've seen all Mosfas, which is a interesting idea. It's actually very terrifying when you're a destroyer. Trust me, I've faced off against almost a all Mosfa team as a Grossovoy, and somehow we actually managed to win it because they used up all their radar, and we were just able to speed them and outgun them. Well, not outgun them, but out torpedo them. So huge variety of different ways to go. In this example, in this battle, is a setup that is kind of common. It's kind of popular. Grossovoy is obviously also very interchangeable with the gearing. The only major benefit of the Grossovoy over the gearing is the fact that gearing does not have a heal, while the Grossovoy does, so it's a little bit longer lasting. The only downside of obviously the Grossovoy is her torpedo range is not particularly amazing. 10 kilometers versus 16.5, so huge difference there. And the Grossovoy can't really torpedo a Mosfa without being possibly radared. So we are playing on Tears of the Desert, doing a fairly normal setup. Another major benefit of running a 2DD is spotting, and also providing smoke for your cruisers. I've seen essentially a double Zao smoke setup, which allows those Zaos to hide in smoke and just burn everything down, and it is frustrating. And generally what happens is one or two ways: either you just get burned down, or you have to make a push against those Zaos in that smoke. So I, in the Grossovoy, have pushed up on the very northern side. Now they do have a enemy Yu Yang, but this team has decided to do a very different tactic. Usually it's quite heavy in the north versus the south, and that's why you see the majority of our forces up here. Now the issue about running a 2DD strat is the limit of your firepower, especially if you take a Grossovoy. Grossovoy is nice, it's fast, it has a heal, guns are decent at long range, but obviously it does have the downside of not having those good torpedoes, and also does not have radar, which Yu Yang is what I was expecting to actually show up here. Now, as far as strats, there's a variety of different strats, kind of just a general quick overview. Now, I have also noticed is that Hindenburg is not as potent as it used to be. Hindenburg used to be a fan favorite for everyone, but now since the Zao has those additional 12-kilometer torpedoes, it's definitely switched more towards a Zao focus. Obviously, Mosfa is very strong. It's great at pushing, which the enemy team is currently doing in the south. And any moment now we should see, I believe, the Zao up here in the north, but I believe almost all the enemy Mosfas are currently down at sea, and obviously that's not very good because they are currently outnumbered. I believe also the enemy DD is down there, and we're gonna have a slight problem. Now we are obviously actually gonna start pulling back towards that because that is where the push is happening. The enemy team only has their Montana and their Zao up here, so I could definitely go and cap, and that is what I'm going to do. Now this is the other benefit of a 2DD strat, is the fact that you're able to cap multiple caps, as you will be seeing me doing. But there's also another reason why I wanted to talk about Clan Wars, is this Clan Wars season is dramatically different from the previous Clan Wars, and a lot of clans have been facing that. In the previous seasons, you used to see clans as low as Gale and Storm I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm very bad at these names. So you used to see them a lot, even if you were up in, say, Hurricane. You used to see those low tiers, and so in those instances you could actually get easy points, which allowed clans to get up higher. But in this instance, in this clan season, they've changed it to where that's almost nigh impossible. Now, I've been told that you're supposed to see one higher and one lower. We have not seen one lower very often. We've seen, obviously, the same level. We've seen the one, I believe, Typhoon. And we've seen Hurricane. So we've seen those two higher ones more often than I've seen lower. I'm not complaining by anything, but it's definitely has some major limitation on what can happen as far as gaining points, especially if you are battling within the same league as you are, because that obviously is not really allowing people to gain a lot of points, especially if you win some, lose some. So the struggle is definitely different than what it used to be. Which is good. It's a good thing, because then it obviously means that not everyone's going to be able to get up to Hurricane. That's fine. I understand that. It does mean this Clan Wars is a lot more difficult than what it used to be. And it's fun. It's still fun. Strategies are still being worked on. Ship composition is still being worked on. People are trying out new things. They also included a Bravo League, so if you are in your Alpha, you can switch over to your Bravo, you can test out new strats, or you can be just a complete a-hole and run all DDs. I'm not saying that we've never done that, but it can happen. But at the time of this battle, as you can see, the enemy team is pushing quite heavily into B. We've captured A. The Zhao and the Montana are starting to push back towards A. Did get a torpedo on that Zhao. That Zhao obviously is no longer able to use its damage control. Now, I was debating whether or not to actually shoot this enemy Zhao, because that obviously would be extremely beneficial, but I have actually pushed into C, which is putting pressure back on the enemy team that I'm currently taking their cap. Their Yang was in fact starting to capture B, but is probably going to get pushed away because we obviously, as you can see, brought back the majority of our forces back towards the B cap, and the enemy Yang is no longer there and is probably trying to get out of harm's way. But the enemy team is still pushing. They still have 4 of the cruisers. Just look at that. Look at all those moss fuzz. Now we've officially captured C, and that's really, really nice. And we do have to worry about this enemy Montana, who is getting surprisingly close. And also, I believe Dread is currently dealing with that enemy Zhao. Now I did drop torpedoes towards the enemy Montana, and Sweet does take out the enemy Yang, which has bought us a little bit more points. But you can see the huge point difference between ourselves and the enemy team. There's about almost 200 points difference between the two, and here I actually misjudged how close I was, in fact, to the Montana. Get spotted, so I just decided to go ahead and open up the guns. He does slightly turn away, which means he's going to eat those torpedoes. Very, very nice. 25,000 points off of his health. Does knock out his engine. Doesn't look like he is repairing it. Probably waiting for that last torpedo spread. Or his damage control might be actually down, which is good news, because that means he is going to flood. He is healing. But I don't think this Montana is going to survive unless he gets his damage control on. And any moment now, that should be one dead Montana. So, Clan Wars is a variety of different things. Tactics, ship composition, luck even. Detonations are a huge thing and huge issues. And just being unlucky. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that's the nice thing about Clan Wars. But it does kind of go to show that World of Warships, especially with all well, all the time I spent on it, it does kind of struggle as far as like competitively. I really could not see World of Warships. It's too RNG based. There's too many varieties, very too many things that kind of really depend on RNG, and it shows whenever you play World of Warships. But I mean, at this time, the enemy team is probably going to lose, even if they try to capture the B cap. There's nothing they can do. They do step on B. I think they're also going to start on C, but any moment now, that Mosfa is going to go down. So that's kind of a quick look at the Clan Wars. The season is officially over with, and that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.